What's up, everybody? Welcome to this latest edition of Funko Pops That Should Be Made. This has really become an ongoing thing on my channel. I have a lot of fun with these videos, and it seems like, viewers have a lot of fun, talking about these ideas as well and sharing your own ideas. So yeah, I really do like this type of video, and this time the focus is on ad icons. And ad icons, the mascots for certain companies have been hugely popular for Funko, so I think that definitely means we're going to see some more. As a matter of fact, some are already confirmed to be on the way, and then some of the ones that I'm going to list, we could see them in the near future or maybe a little farther off, but I think a lot of these actually will happen. So I always like to begin these videos by focusing on what's already been done. So of course, Funko has done a lot of cereal mascots, including the original General Mills figures, which featured Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry. I still would like to see updated versions of these eventually, and I don't think that'll really hurt the value of the originals. Those are probably still going to hold pretty good value because there's the original ones and then also the metallic versions of those original ones, but I think they do deserve updated designs. Of course, I realize with Trix Rabbit and Tony the Tiger that there's flock versions of them as well, and of course the flock ones hold more value, and those have been all the rage lately. Big Boy, if you don't know, Big Boy actually kicked things off for Funko. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's the first bobblehead that they actually did. I feel like I've heard that before. So that was big for the company starting things off there, and of course they did their original characters, their Spastic Plastic line, and then they got into a lot more properties, DC Comics and so on, and they just kept going from there. Some other mascots that they've done include Bullseye, the Target, the dog from Target, and also Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. So yeah, Funko has definitely dabbled in the ad icons, but they haven't done like a ton of them. And by the way, I do want to point out that this is ad icons. We're not talking about certain other types of characters, which I'll break that down a little bit more in just a moment here. So as far as what's confirmed to be on the way, the McDonald's figures are on the way for the characters that you see here. As a matter of fact, at the time of this recording, you can go ahead and pre-order these figures at GameStop. You do have to go in store, but they do have them on the list, so that means you can go ahead and pre-order these characters that do include Ronald McDonald, Hamburglar, Grimace, Mayor McCheese, and then Officer Big Mac. So yeah, all 5 of these, they are confirmed, and you can go ahead and pre-order these if you want to get your hands on them. I think they're going to be very popular. So a couple of notes before I get into this list, because I always kind of set parameters for myself. Again, the focus is on ad icons, so I'm not focusing on mascots for sports teams or board games, because you think about Mr. Monopoly, that on his box it actually says I think it says game on there, so that really is a separate thing from the ad icon. So I don't want to confuse that. This is strictly about mascots that focus on particular products or restaurants, whatever it may be, ad icons. Some characters weren't chosen because they may not be visually interesting or suited for a pop design, and you see some examples here like the M&Ms and also Spot, the 7-Up mascot. Because of their shape, Funko could make figures of them, but they really wouldn't feel like pop figures to me. And then I definitely don't think that the standard pop eyes would look good on an M&M figure. And even if they change the eyes to make them more true to the characters, then to me it's really getting away from what a pop is. So that's why I say I don't think the M&M ones would necessarily be great. I mean, if they happened, I think they would be popular. I think they would sell well, but I just don't think they would really look like pop figures though. So same thing like I said for Spot. Mr. Peanut I think would be a tough one to pull off. And I know some people have said Wendy, from Wendy's, but I don't really think of her so much as having a personality or anything, or really being a true mascot. And that's something I did think about as well when I was putting my list together, is mascots and characters that actually had personality to them. So that's why I left Wendy off the list. I just don't really think of her in that way. I mean, she's basically just an icon for the most part. The icon that goes along with the name of the restaurant. Okay, so enough about all that. Let's actually go ahead and get into the fun stuff here, my list. So for starters, I was very surprised that the McDonald's list did not have Birdy along with them. Now, somebody pointed out in the comments, maybe it's possible that she will be a con exclusive, and you know, that is very possible, because it would just seem awkward to me to leave Birdy out of the loop altogether, since most of the times when they would show McDonald's and the other, you know, excuse me, Ronald McDonald and then the other characters, she was always there, you know, and she's the main one I think of after him. I mean, you know, it's kind of close call between these main four here, her, Grimace, and you know, also Hamburglar. But yeah, Birdy definitely comes to mind. So I think you know, that she's got to be made. I think that just has to happen. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a Jack-in-the-Box really close to me. I mean, sometimes if I go visit a family member, then there's one nearby, and I definitely take advantage of that, you know, when I get the chance. But yeah, it's unfortunate there isn't one close to me. But I really do like the Jack-in-the-Box commercials. I do think the mascot is pretty funny, especially since, you know, it's just a guy in a suit, but then he has that ice cream cone head. So that would be kind of a cool one for Funko to pull off, and I think very distinct. I mean, you would look at that and right away know who he is. And then I said this previously, I would absolutely love if they did the Burger King and really kept all the details of his face and, you know, sculpt the mouth and all of that. I think he would look really cool, and I just like that character. I really like that mix of creepiness and yet humor though. So, and by the way, also when Burger King had their video games that they did, I actually played Sneak King. It wasn't really a bad game. I mean, it was a cool little distraction. It wasn't like a full-fledged game, a true game, but you know, it was still a cool little experience. And I've watched some Let's Players play that as well, including the Game Grumps even played it. So yeah, that was actually kind of fun, you know, fun little distraction there. So yeah, the Burger King is really one I would like to see. So Colonel Sanders, I was kind of iffy on this, but you know, whenever I do these lists, it's not just about what I would want. And when it comes down to it, yeah, if they did Colonel Sanders, I think he would sell very well. I have actually seen customs of Colonel Sanders that look pretty cool. One of them even had him holding a bucket of chicken there, you know, which they could do, or they could just have him with his cane, whatever it may be. But yeah, Colonel Sanders, I think he does have a very distinct look about him. And like I said, you know, I think he would sell well also. So as far as pizza places goes, we got a couple of characters here that I think would do well. Chuck E. Cheese, I think, is pretty obvious, and I do mean the original Chuck E. Cheese, not that updated one they did. I do not like the look of that one. To me, it looks a little bit too much like a rat, so I'm not a fan of that one. I don't think they should do that one. But yeah, I like the look of Chuck E. Cheese, and I know there are other characters along with him, but to me, I'm not really a big fan of them. I think they look kind of awkward. They look very much like just knockoff versions of the McDonald's gang, basically. So I don't really care for the other characters, but I do like Chuck E. Cheese. Little Caesar, I think, would be a good choice. I don't think he's going to end up, like, if they do a pop of him, I really don't think it would end up looking exactly like that character, because it can't. Because, I mean, he basically doesn't have a neck, you know, so he's going to end up looking different. But I think he still would be distinct enough, especially if he's, you know, the way that he is here, holding a piece of slice, and then definitely with the spear with the pieces on it. I think that would be a great detail as well. And the Noid, Domino stopped using the Noid for a long time, and if you don't know, it's because it's kind of a crazy situation. There was actually a guy, he had mental issues, and he thought that the Noid was like created to basically pick at him or tease him, whatever it may be, and it actually resulted in a hostage situation. It was really crazy. So basically, and I heard some rumors also that somebody wore a Noid mask to commit a crime. I really don't know about that. I didn't see anything on record with that. But yeah, basically because of some of the legal things that have happened avoided, including the Noid, Domino stayed away from the character for a long time, but they have been slowly bringing him back, and I have fond memories of the character. You know, Avoid the Noid, I used to like those commercials. There was even a video game of it. Not a great video game, but there was a video game featuring the Noid, even one with Chuck E. Cheese as well. I mean, really, especially in the 90s and like early 2000s even, there were almost every mascot character got a game at some point, you know, so that's something that's kind of continued on. But yeah, I really do like the Noid. I think he would look great as a pop figure. So before I get to the two here on the right, I gotta point out, Mr. Owl actually crossed my mind, you know, the Tootsie Roll mascot. But then I thought about it. Okay, he's always licking on lollipops, and then I realized, you know, the little boy that's in the commercials with him, he's not wearing clothes. So I'll just basically say this. I think Mr. Owl has to deal with some legal issues before he can be an ad icon. So let's not even worry about Mr. Owl right now. Let's just keep it moving. So Chester Cheetah, I think, is an obvious choice. I mean, he's cool. He just looks cool, and I think he'd be a phenomenal figure. You know, they definitely got to have the shades on him, of course. There are rare moments where you actually see his eyes, but nah, it's all about those shades and the cool sneakers. I think he would be a big hit, and you know, Funko probably would double dip with him and turn around and do a flock version, and people would lose their minds, but it would be all in fun to me. I think that would be cool regardless. And then Kool-Aid, I know with Mr. Kool-Aid, he wouldn't really look exactly like a pop figure except for the eyes. I mean, the eyes are close, even though they look more like semicolons than periods, but you know what I'm saying. But I think it would work as a pop figure, and yeah, it just would be fun to see the details of him in, you know, 3D, three-dimensional figure, you know, with the ice on the top and everything, and make him kind of transparent. Yeah, I think Mr. Kool-Aid actually could end up looking really cool. No pun intended there. So, getting into some really cutesy factor here, Pillsbury Doughboy. I mean, you just look at him, he almost looks like a pop figure already, you know, especially since he has the perfectly round eyes. And of course, Funko would have to do the blue eyes with him with the white trim around him, even though it's basically white on white because he is all white pretty much. But regardless, you know, like I said, he almost looks like a pop figure already. And because of that cute factor, I think he would be popular. Even people that don't really collect Funko Pops might pick him up if they see him. So I think it would be a smart business move also to do the Pillsbury Doughboy. And then also I think especially around the holiday times, imagine if around, you know, as Christmas is nearing, that they put out a polar bear, the Coca-Cola polar bear, actually holding the bottle of Coca-Cola, and it has the red scarf on and even the Santa hat. Again, I think that would be a smart business move. That would be hugely popular, you know. And again, people that don't even collect Pops would probably pick that up just because they have fond memories of those ads, and those are recent ads as well. So yeah, I think both of these characters would do hugely well as ad icon figures. Now these here are maybe not the most obvious choices, but I still like them. I mean, the Energizer Bunny, I have a lot of fond memories of those commercials. It was really funny a lot of times when they would have a commercial. It starts off like a different product, and then all of a sudden the Energizer Bunny comes into it. It would annoy me sometimes though, because I'd be interested in the fake product that they had going on, but then all of a sudden here comes in the Energizer Bunny. So yeah, I mean, you look at him in terms of design, he would definitely be very distinct. You definitely could not mistake him for anything else. Would be very recognizable. So I think that would be cool. The Geico Gecko, this character, initially I did not like him. I was like, what is Geico doing? I thought he was kind of annoying, but the more they do the commercials, the funnier he gets to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the accent or just his attitude, whatever it is. But yeah, that character has grown on me, and I think it's one that people would like to see. Maybe not something that needs to be produced in like huge numbers, but I think it could do all right. And then I know this seems like an odd choice, but Mr. Clean, just imagine him as a pop figure. This one is purely for humor. I mean, just to be real, purely for humor, because I think he would look so funny with his white eyebrows and the big loop earring, you know, all of that. I just think it would be funny. So that's really the only reason I included him on this list. Now, these did not cross my mind initially because I mean, they are actually they could be considered ad icons, even though they're not promoting products, but they are promoting public safety, which is, you know, something that's always important. So McGruff the Crime Dog, I mean, I gotta say this also, I grew up with these characters. A lot of people grew up with these characters, and they're still around, so there's definitely a nostalgia factor to it. And I definitely remember seeing the commercials of McGruff the Crime Dog, you know, take a bite out of crime. You know, that's just part of my memory so much that I think he would be cool. I gotta say also, you know, Smokey I think is very relevant, especially with the wildfires that keep happening out west in California, you know, these very tragic events. So the character is very relevant. He's still in commercials. They've actually done this like computer generated version of him now. I still like the classic cartoon look of him though. So because he's so relevant, you know, I think that matters. And then Woodsy the Owl, I want to say Woodsy the Owl is still used in ads as well, but regardless, you know, give a hoot, don't pollute. You know, that's something that's always going to matter. So that's why I included these characters on the list, because again, I think they do fit into ad icons. Even though they're not promoting products, they are promoting public safety, but because of their significance, I think that's why they deserve to be made eventually. And of course, you know, I had to focus on cereal mascots, some more cereal mascots that should be made. Now I gotta say the one I'm kind of iffy on is Toucan Sam, just because I don't know, it'd be tough to pull it off with his beak basically, and I really don't know if they would do the eyes as pop eyes or to do, you know, the eyes that the way the character actually looks. It just, that part of it would be kind of tricky, and if they couldn't get it to really look like the character, then I really think they probably, you know, shouldn't bother with him. But that's the only one I'm kind of iffy on. Dig'em, I just like that name, Dig'em from Honey Smacks, and then he has a cool look about him as well. Oh, by the way, I do want to point this out. Sugar Bear did cross my mind. Sugar Bear, which promotes, and I'm actually drawing a blank on what he promotes, but I think Sugar Bear looks kind of boring, just to be honest. I don't think he's really an interesting looking character, and his design sometimes is somewhat similar to Dig'em, and if I had to choose between the two, I would go with Dig'em. I like Dig'em more. That's just me. Cap'n Crunch, the ironically named Cap'n Crunch, because if you really know cereal, Cap'n Crunch goes soggier faster than anything else. So I think that's very ironic that it's called Cap'n Crunch. But again, it's such a well-known character. It's been around for a long time, you know, and he's going through his design changes. But this is a pretty standard design that you see of him there. Definitely think he would work and be, you know, very popular. And then also Buzz Bee from Cheerios, I think would look great as well. And I actually would like to see him holding, you know, the honeycomb there on the stick as well. Even, you know, Funko could do like some clear plastic making it look like honey dripping off of it. That would be a great detail. And then, I mean, how could you do pop figures of cereal mascots and not have Snap, Crackle, and Pop? Kind of obvious to me. I think that's gotta happen, and it would be great to have them as a 3-pack. You know, go ahead and put them together. I could see that being something that they might do, you know, like a Funko Shop exclusive, hopefully with the shop running well and everything, you know, not making it too difficult to get them for people that are interested. But yeah, you know, for the representing the Rice Krispies, excuse me, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, I think would be phenomenal. You know, so these are the cereal mascots that came to mind. Yes, I know there are more out there, but there are some that to me are kind of boring, and then some that seem a little derivative, too similar to other characters. So yeah, these are the ones that I decided to go with. So that is my list, and I definitely want to hear from you. What ad icons would you like to see? You know, let's keep it somewhat realistic. You know, what do you think Funko would really be attracted to try to do as figures? Also, what do you think would sell well? Because that definitely does matter. But yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun with my list. I hope you have fun sharing your ideas down below. Excuse me. Let me know what you think about my ideas, whether or not you think they would sell well. Because remember, Funko is a business. That's what it's always going to come down to. Will it sell well? You know, that's what it's going to come down to. But yeah, make sure that you like the video. If you didn't like it, you could, you know, put the thumbs down. Either way, it helps the channel. Look forward to your comments. Subscribe if you are new. And you know, I like to do these types of videos, and like I said, this has basically become an ongoing series because I've done so many of these at this point, and I'm pretty sure I will do more, so be on the lookout for those. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you all again real soon.